characters. We all love them, but do we know why? Thanks to a suggestion by my brother Andy, today's character study will be on Jamie Foxx's iteration of the character Electro in the film The Amazing Spider-Man 2, specifically. Not anything else to which I wouldn't be able to speak on, obviously, but Andy said one character that he thinks fits this character outline that many people probably wouldn't say is Electro. And I sat back and I thought, you know what? That's a good point. Now, before I start, I did want to say a lot of superhero films in general have both heroes and villains alike that fit this character outline. It's a part of what makes superhero films so alluring and memorable in the first place. So is Jamie Foxx's Electro somebody that specifically stands out more than just your typical superhero villain, or is there something unique about him? Let's talk about that. So I like to begin with visuals. If you pause a film or took a look at a still frame of this character, would you know who you're looking at? Similarly, if you dressed up as this character on Halloween, would people know who you were? Now, I'm not sure about Halloween. Can't say I've seen many Electros on the street in the last 7 years, but that doesn't mean that they wouldn't be recognizable if they were out there. Electro does have a specific look about him, and that's specifically his blueness. I will admit that that's not exactly what I love about his character, but there was at least some thought put into artistically coming up with an appearance that doesn't just look like Jamie Foxx. We all know what Jamie Foxx looks like. So I'm gonna give this full points. What about audibly? Is there something that he says or something that he does there specifically audible that happens with this character where you close your eyes and you just hear him? You know who it is. Yes, now this is one of those main things that I love about Electro. This dude's voice and electric music that follows him around. When he first unveils himself as Electro in Times Square, there's this song composed by Hans Zimmer that plays in the background with Jamie Foxx's internal dialogue, which gets me every time. He lied to me, he shot at me, he hates on me, he's using me, fragility, electricity, afraid of me, he's dead to me. Over and over again, those lyrics play to that electrically charged music. Later on, when Spider-Man's actually battling Electro at a power station, there's even more electric music playing that's just so powerful, and I do connect that music and sound specifically to Electro, if not just for the I'm talking to myself inside my brain inner dialogue. It's all there, and it's pretty awesome. So full points here as well. What about physical traits? Something that this character does that stands out as different and unique to this character. He is a supervillain, so this was destined to be a strong answer, and of course, it's the control of electricity. So I'm going to give this full points because it's almost great by default. But honestly, this is another example of a strong character trait that he has, but it's not really why I love him. What I love the most from Jamie Foxx's Electro character was the psychological aspect. Not enough people give him enough credit for it. So when I look at a character's psychology, I essentially look at their behavior, and a really good villain isn't two-dimensional and just a villain to be a villain, but there's something deeper going on with their psyche. And Electro was a villain by happenstance. You know, he initially was a very, very nice guy, but he was sad, somebody who felt alone and invisible. People ignored him so much that even when they weren't specifically ignoring him on purpose, he saw it that way anyway, and believed that to be the root cause of his transformation into this beast that initially couldn't even control his power. He was initially hurting people by mistake, and he was apologizing. But then that power-hungry thing happens, where he realized with this power he could get everything that he wanted for once, that nobody was ignoring him anymore, and that to him felt very good. So he goes on a really understandable journey throughout the film that I found to be incredibly relatable, and I love this character because of it, which means I'm going to give this full points as well, which means Electro is what I consider to be a perfect character. I'm not saying that the movie is a perfect film, but it kind of proves my point. You know, give credit where it's due when you watch a movie. There can be an assortment of perfect characters in a not-so-perfect film, though I still say that movie was one of the most awe-inspiring, visually appealing Spider-Man movies that we've ever gotten. That was true then, and it is still true today. So big thanks to Andy for suggesting this character today. Now, if you have any idea on who I should take on next, leave your ideas in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next character profile video. And until then, peace out.